I'm joined by George Moore, who's a regular here at Royal Ascot and bloodstock agent extraordinaire. Tell us your main reasons, because you do come every year.
You know, we come down here last 10 years or so to source Derby horses. We've had about 3 or 4 Derby horses come in from Europe, so we've had a lot of success here. And today is probably one of my more prominent days. We've got the 2 main races we come in, which a lot of people, a lot of agents have bought out for Hong Kong, primarily the Britannia and the Hampton Court. Usually every year we buy about 1 or 2 horses out of the Britannia. We bought Out and About from the Haggerside last year, and he's already had 8 starts in Hong Kong for 4 wins, and hasn't finished out of the money other than in the Derby because he just doesn't like the soft surface. And we, we bought Collection, which won a Derby also, and also going to be focusing on the Hampton Court over 1900 today and see what comes out of that. But I was missed yesterday. Had a couple of races on the on the Tuesday, which I was looking at predominantly. I was looking very closely at Rivet because, as you know, we bought Out and About last year out of the Britannia, and he's a full brother. So hoping to pick up 1 or 2 if we're lucky. As you know, the market right now is quite tough to buy from Europe.
And what makes a good Hong Kong Derby horse? What sort of attributes do you need?
Well, you know, buying horses from England, they're predominantly more stout horses than Australia. We go over to Australia to buy the Sprinter Milers, a little bit more speed and precociousness in the pedigree. Over the last 10 years, we've come here predominantly for focusing on the 2,000-metre horses. Granted, we bought a couple sprinters out of here, namely Frederick Engels, which went over the shorter distance from Qatar or Pearl Bloodstock at the time. And but yeah, we're focusing on more the stout pedigrees over here, which Europe is obviously renowned for.
We must touch on a good season in Hong Kong, coming to the end now for your father. Was he pretty happy with his sort of end-of-season haul of big prizes?
Yeah, we've got a lot of really good horses in the stable right now, a real strong stable. Unfortunately, our #1 horse, Rapid Dragon, my favourite horse, we had to put down after the Champions Mile. He was going to be as good as Able Friend, in my opinion. He was a super horse. We've got a lot of good stayers in the stable, namely Eagle Way, which won the Queensland Derby. We bought him as a yearling. And another horse which might go over to the Melbourne Carnival and race over there called Helen Charisma, which was bought out of France. He was the Grand Prix de Paris winner, called Mount Ormel. He's a nice horse, needs a bit of give in the surface, but we might go over. He probably needs 3,000 metres, so he could be a good Sydney Cup horse or a Melbourne Cup horse. So we're trying to convince the owners to bring the horse over there for the Melbourne Carnival. Of course, the owner also has Helen Paragon, which could be Horse of the Year this year. Probably one of our best miler 1,800-metre horses in the stable. But Dad's up to 154 million this year, and we still got 1 more group race of the season. Granted, a lot of our horses are really tired, so we only have 3 or 4 of 14 runners. Usually we have half the field in the big races, which means I'm doing my job sourcing the right horses. We've so far got 3 Derby horses for next year. Hopefully I can get another 2 at this meet to increase our numbers. We usually have 6 or 7 runners in the Derby every year. I bought a couple nice horses out of Australia. We're yet to get some deals secured with Derby horses this year from Europe, but hopefully, as I said, pick 2 or 3 out of this race. Or actually, if I'm happy to pick up 1 out of Royal Ascot, I'm doing well.
It is very, very competitive. And before we let you go, why no Hong Kong horses here this year? I guess just people don't have the right horses.
The timing of it's a little difficult. We found out that shipping horses from Hong Kong to Europe tends to take quite a lot out of them. So we have to really find the right horse. I'm pushing Dad to get a horse to Royal Ascot. One of his dreams is to win a Royal Ascot race over here. So I was talking to Adrian Beaumont and saying that we hopefully will have a runner next year. Of course, we're going to have a lot of runners. Our best carnival is the Dubai Carnival. It's in a perfect time of the year, and we love sending horses over there. It was too bad we couldn't get Helen Paragon in the end over for the duty-free, because he would have been one of the favourites. And he's the type of horse you can travel with, which has got a good temperament, still being a colt. But yeah, I've been pushing Dad. I'm sure he really wants to do it. It's really up to the owners to allow us to send horses over here, but Dad's really gearing to win a Royal Ascot race, and the prestige over here is just phenomenal. The racing is great over here. They really look after us. We've only had the chance, I think, of bringing 2 different horses over here, namely Happy Zero and Able Friend, and unfortunately Able Friend just didn't really travel too well over here because it is a hard trip. Dubai, of course, is the climate's a lot similar to Hong Kong, and for some reason, I mean, it's still quite a long trip, and being 8.5 hours to fly over, but they do well over the Dubai climate, and the racing carnival, as I said, slots into a time of the year which is very good for us. We don't have that many good races or that many Group 1 races around that time, and the horses can recover quite quickly in Hong Kong for the group races, being the Champion Mile in April and those type of big races.
Well, that would be brilliant. We'd love to see you with a proper team at the carnival next year. But many thanks for coming on. We'll let you go because I know you want to go and want to look at some horses. But thanks again, and best of luck with any purchases.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.